Sorry, let me
Yoho.
ask you: truth, lies, or shenanigans?
Oh, this is a truth wrapped in shenanigans that should have been nipped in the bud decades ago, at the beginning of the feminism movement, for goodness sake. All right.
Wow.
So again, so
I
as we
wasn't
all
ready for all
know,
that truth.
hey, that was some truth. I'm dropping bombs. So Representative Yoho was reportedly heard by by a reporter calling Representative Ocasio-Cortez a effing bitch. I was gonna say it, but I don't want to
Say
get
it.
charged money. No, effing bitch, quote unquote. And this was on the steps of the Capitol, and this was due to her belief that poverty is tied to crime. Like the reason there's an uptick in crime is because people are poor, they're suffering. This kicked off another week of non-apology tour. Another non-apology tour where Yoho A denied even saying it. B claimed he doesn't apologize for loving his God, which what does that have to do with being a misogynistic a-hole? I don't know. And C,
I was saying,
and C
what's
had
up
the
to
nerve.
God?
Exactly. What's up to God? I hate women, okay. And C had the nerve to hide his misogyny behind his daughters, behind the fact that he's a father and a husband. So,
Can I give you a D to that as
Ocasio,
well? He also didn't
yes,
say her name in the apology. Never mentioned her
What?
name.
thank you. Thank you. Right? So, Ocasio-Cortez responded by giving this impassioned speech that Neo is going to play for us.
Representative Yoho put his finger in my face. He called me disgusting. He called me crazy. He called me out of my mind. Representative Yoho called me, and I quote, a fucking bitch. It is a culture of lack of impunity, of accepting of violence and violent language against women, and an entire structure of power that supports that. Because not only have I been spoken to disrespectfully, particularly by members of the Republican Party and elected officials in the Republican Party, not just here, but the President of the United States last year, the Governor of Florida, Governor DeSantis, before I even was sworn in. This is a pattern of an attitude towards women and dehumanization of others. I could not allow my nieces, I could not allow the little girls that I go home to, I could not allow victims of verbal abuse and worse to see that and to see our Congress accept it as legitimate. I am 2 years younger than Mr. Yoho's youngest daughter. I am someone's daughter too. My father, thankfully, is not alive to see how Mr. Yoho treated his daughter. My mother got to see Mr. Yoho's disrespect on the floor of this house towards me on television. And I am here because I have to show my parents that I am their daughter and that they did not raise me to accept abuse from men.
Powerful
So,
statement. Very powerful.
historically, very powerful. Historically, when women are victim to this type of behavior from men, they're expected to turn the other cheek or take the higher road. For example, Michelle Obama. When they go low, you go high. Hillary Clinton has been called all kinds of names. Am I cut off? Can you still hear me?
No,
Yeah, we hear you.
I was saying
Oh,
not
okay,
me. I
okay.
don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. No, but
I go
Hillary
even lower.
Clinton.
I go even lower.
Oh, me too. But here's
Mhm.
Hillary Clinton has been called every name, has her name, she's been called out of her name. It doesn't matter whether you agree with her or not. The way that woman has been disrespected and so many other women. And, my question to you guys is, should women have to continue turning the other cheek, or should this become the new social movement, the new hashtag me too, for women standing up for their right to not be degraded, to not be gaslighted, to not be abused, so should we go high and keep ignoring it and just keep letting our worth prove itself, or is it time to start calling out these transgressions publicly every time they happen?
Jam? You wanna
I'll
start?
go to you, Lizzie.
And
Or
Lizzie, oh,
Jam. Yeah,
she
I'll
called
go
you
to
out,
Jam.
Lizzie. Let's do it.
All right, go
I
ahead.
think I think this is kind of a call to arms to women, if you will, across this country. As Z pointed out, you know, we have historically been put in positions where we are told that, you know, boys will be boys. This is just locker room talk. This is just how we refer to each other in jest, if you will. And that as women, we need to have thicker skin, not just thick skin, but thicker skin to deal with how men treat us. I think one thing that is very poignant about this entire incident, even before he started using profane language to address her, for me, the idea that he approached her as she was walking away. So she was walking down, not engaging anyone, minding her business. And for him and his colleague, Representative Williams, to roll up on her the way they did, a young woman, is appalling. It, like she said, he has a daughter that is around her age. And what a lot of other senators online, once this came out, male senator or male congressmen pointed out that they too shared some of the same sentiments about crime and poverty that AOC shared. They posted it on Twitter. Never once did he approach them. Never once did he yell at them. Never once did he roll up on them. And that's because they're men. He knew better. But for a woman, he felt entitled. He felt like, okay, you know, I can get her because she is the weaker sex and she's not going to respond to me. So I think as women, you know, we have to start, you know, pulling up our sleeves, taking off our earrings, getting that Vaseline, and just, you know, demanding respect. Especially these are elected officials. How dare you act like that on the steps of the Capitol? How dare you act like that?
Can
Jan?
I just add, if this was a private company, he would be fired. So I don't know why this is acceptable in government.
Absolutely.
This,
Absolutely.
I look at this as a slightly larger issue. Like there is you guys remember the bicyclist that we highlighted a little bit ago who stopped the kids on the trail when they're putting up the Black Lives
Yeah, I
Matter
remember
signs?
that.
Remember that?
Yes.
It was a white male, and he primarily focused on the two young ladies he was yelling at. It's an attitude. Separately, it's an attitude of, like you said, man versus woman, more effectively or more specifically, man versus, like, I can do anything to this structure, this object that I've created.
Younger
Now,
than Mr. Yoho.
I have more to say to that as it comes
Young-
to we have a societal issue where we have issues with addressing women and how we deal with women and that comfort level
And
and
Mr.
strength of
Yoho's
character.
young.
And to that end,
What was that?
I'm hearing a voice kind of weird. But my point is simply that until we learn to deal with that, and then when we take that step back, that our political leaders, like Liz said, have no business at all coming out their mouth sounding crazy toward anyone. Like they are, like part of what they do is represent America as an institution that is above all the bullshit. I got myself this 20.
$10.
So anyway, that's what I got to say. It was in a quote. I was reading a quote. Anyway.
We can't quote each other. We can't quote each other.
No, but that's it. Got me all fired up.
Yeah. Sorry about that noise. That was me. I was queuing this up. So I just want to replay this part because this is the most poignant part to me personally. This is the kind of thing that hit me.
I am 2 years younger than Mr. Yoho's youngest daughter.
Yeah.
Representative Yoho put his finger in my face.
All right.
Youngest daughter. I am someone's daughter too.
So that's the part that really kind of hit me was, you know, she's someone's daughter too. I mean, you got to start looking at that like that. I mean, so Yoho put his daughters on display, and his daughter and his wife, and said, "Hey, you know, I have my wife, my daughter. I treat women with respect. Blah 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 blah." But, you know, he doesn't. He doesn't treat women with respect. And she says, and you can see the full clip on our Facebook page. But she says later, you know, she showed that, you know, you can have a daughter, you can have a wife, and still treat women with disrespect. And you know, and that's what Yoho showed. So, you know, if he's going to flaunt his daughter and his child, he needs to start treating other people like they're other people's children. And I don't know, that hit me the hardest. That hit me the like that was the biggest thing. And then she was talking about her dad, and her dad didn't have to see that, which was great, but her mom had to see that type of behavior. And I mean, like I said, that's what hit me the most with her. And I don't think we should be treating women like that.
Can I just
You know,
add
there's
very
also the
quickly?
religion. Mhm.
Oh yeah, he's a Christian.
Oh God.
He's a big time
Yeah, and I
Christian.
wanted to add, I wanted to actually quote Jacqueline Robinson. Hey, girl, I loved
Not so
your I loved your comment when you said when calling a woman out her name while professing Jesus and hiding behind your wife and daughters skirts has consequences. And I was like, wow. And this is supposed to be a man of God, a man of religion, who, by the way, had to step down, had to resign from his Christian organization because they were like, you can't be running your mouth out. You can't be saying that mess and then trying to hide behind the church because
All
we're
right,
not supposed to represent that.
I'll pause the timer for a second. Lizzie, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, as it relates to me being a woman in my relationships, and I have several friends who are in domestic violence situations. Okay, several young ladies. And the first thing that I always say to them is notice how I'm very sensitive about how people approach me and talk to me. I'm not even talking about the physical violence. I don't let people speak to me disrespectfully. I don't let people come out of their mouth to me any kind of way. Even, when I'm kind of, on our TLS webpage on Facebook, when I see, the comments get a little testy, get a little vulgar, I check that. Like, we're adults. We are expected to be respectful of one another, but particularly towards women. And there is no way that I would be in a relationship or I would let a coworker address me with that type of vulgarity and get away with it. I'm very sensitive at how
Mm-hmm.
people approach me. As adults, we can have disagreements. We can be on opposite sides of the coin, opposite ideologies, but it shouldn't have to come down to immediate disrespect and blatant misogyny and blatant I'm going to get you. I'm going to impose my male privilege, my white privilege onto you. So yeah, ladies, if you're watching, be careful about how people speak to you. That's where it starts. That's where you start to
Yes.
get the power.
All
Mm-hmm.
right. Dan,
You
we
got a
got
few
30
comments?
seconds.
All right.
Did you want?
George Villarreal. I don't remember if other GOP politicians disavowed Yoho, but they don't have a track record of calling out disrespect and racism. AOC is always so sharp and prepared. Rebecca, yeah, that cut deep about her father. George, right from the top, 45 is infamous for misogyny. GOP lapdogs don't even flinch.
Yes.
Mel, call them out every single time.
Every
Ernest, he's a
single
coward. Kevin, he should be impeached for his improper and gentlemanlike actions. If a general can get relieved for calling a reporter sweetheart, then he should be removed for conduct unbecoming a U.S. senator.
Actually, I agree
Yes.
with that. I
okay.
wish we had that on like tape or something, but I agree with that. I mean, I agree that he should be, he potentially, at least he should have some type of ethics violations or something.
Some type of censure or something.
Yeah.
Something.
All right.
And Joyce, take the silence out of domestic violence. Tell.
All right.
Yes.